He is longest-serving Secretary of Trade and Industry in the Philippines, having served the country between 2010 and 2015. In WTO, APEC, and ASEAN, he is known for his advocacy in improving the plight of SMEs. He also served as director to a number of the most renowned private companies in the Philippines, including the SM Investments Corporation, BDO Private Bank, and Meralco. Please give a warm welcome to former Secretary of Trade and Industry, Gregory Domingo.
HSBC in particular projects the Philippines to be the 16th largest economy by 2050. Philippines is projected to be the largest country in ASEAN. Okay, so that means the Philippines will be bigger than Singapore, will be bigger than Malaysia, will be bigger than Indonesia, will be bigger than Thailand, will be bigger than Vietnam. We recently got the US GSP, which allows us preferential access to thousands of tariff lines with the US. We also got, in December 2014, the EU GSP Plus, the first time the Philippines had it. And currently, it's the only one in that part of the world that has the GSP Plus status with the EU, which allows us duty-free access to over 2/3 of all the tariff lines in the EU, which is resulting now in huge increases in our exports to the EU. We are currently in the final stages of completing a trade agreement with EFTA. These are the 4 countries. It's the European Free Trade Area composed of 4 countries: Switzerland, Norway, Liechtenstein, and Iceland. I think we should have a signing of that before the end of this administration. We are currently negotiating as well an FTA with the EU. So that's well on its way. And we have, Philippine government has stated actually that they will also have full intention to participate in the TPP. In 2009, the Philippines was just slightly below China. But if you compare it to 2014, Philippines in terms of workers' wages in manufacturing became double that of the Philippines. And if you look at the others, like Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, and Malaysia, it's either they become much more expensive than the Philippines, or their relative cheaper labor costs has narrowed down significantly, wherein the Philippines showed only a 2.2% annual increase in wages, while Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, and in particular China, right, grew 14.8%. So Philippines has the lowest wage inflation. From 165 billion in 2010 at the start of the Keynote administration, this year, 2016, that infrastructure budget has climbed to 768.5 billion pesos. So huge increase in the infrastructure budget. In terms of PPP projects, just to give you a perspective, because the Philippine government was always criticized about this, this shows you the PPP projects under the prior 3 administrations of Arroyo, Estrada, and Ramos, and compared to the Aquino administration. Those projects, the 12, have actually been bidded out. So they're undergoing construction now. There's another 14, actually, that is being prepared for the bidding. In terms of the areas for investment, which is really the main point, in an economy that's growing very quickly, like the Philippines, where we've grown basically about 6% average growth rate over the past 5 years, and the projections are really to continue at that pace for a while, in fact, for several decades, if we are to believe Goldman Sachs and HSBC, then there are really many opportunities for investments in a rapidly growing economy. First, of course, is infrastructure. Because of the huge needs for infrastructure, there are many opportunities to enter into the infrastructure in many ways, be it a consultant, an investor, an operator. Then, we've been very strong in services as well. This would include the IT BPO, where We've grown from basically 5,000 people in 2001 to over 1 million bodies well, now it will be over 1.1 million people. For us to achieve the inclusive growth, the Philippines has to really push a lot more tourism and agriculture, because that's what will provide millions of jobs to those who are in the poorer parts of the society.